Good evening and welcome to LeGrand Alive TV Sports. I'm your sports director, Steve Hendrix, and we welcome you aboard tonight. We're speaking with the coaches from LeGrand High School football team, and we'll be talking with them about the upcoming starter game this Friday. We want to mention that our sponsors for tonight's broadcast are Marketplace Family Foods, Valley Realty, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, and also Grand Ron Hospital. And we thank them for their support very much. First, let me introduce my guests with me tonight, Coach Shannon and Coach Travis from the LeGrand High School football team. Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Nice to be here.
Coach Shannon, Coach Travis, thank you for joining us. Now, Friday night starts it up. It's the 2016 season. Everything else is in the history books and records we can look at some other time, but tell me a little bit about a broad stroke of this year's competition and the schedule that the Tigers are going to face this fall. Coach Shannon?
Well, I think the competition is going to be good again. We play Pendleton in our first game as a non-league game, and they've always been tough. The league has consistently been strong every year. I would expect that to happen again. We bring in some good quality non-league teams, and I think our kids have to play their best every week, and that's what we stress. So we're looking forward to it.
Great. Now, Coach Travis, are there any particular weekends that are going to be a little more challenging than others, do you think? Or
I don't think so. I think every weekend's a challenge. Every Friday night's a new opponent, a new game. We just have to play good team football, and we'll see where we go from there.
now, you have some returning players. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the sophomores who are juniors, the juniors who are seniors now.
Yeah.
Who do we have coming back to play for LeGrand this year that of note?
Well, I think we're in a great position this year. We lost some very key players that were great contributors, but we brought back our top 12 linemen. We brought back our top 6 receivers. We have a lot of depth. Quarterbacks, we have both our quarterbacks from last year come back. So we have a lot to build on for this year. And the kids understand that. And one of the strengths of our team right now is that the kids in the program have been in the program. And so they know what we expect. And
they've learned the playbook. They've done it pretty well.
It was nice because they knew the playbook when they came in. And so we can build on that instead of building up to it.
Sure.
And it's going to be exciting. So we have a lot of kids with lots of individual skills that are ready to contribute that really helped us last year.
Now, Coach Travis, are there any players that would be of note that this will be their first year playing for the Tigers varsity football team that we want to keep an eye on as they develop?
Well, there's quite a few new players out this year, but like Harold says, we're stacked pretty much deep every position we have, both offense and defense. We're a team. We play as a team. We don't necessarily like to single people out. It's just kind of the mantra that Harold and I press on the team, that nobody's better than anybody else, and we are a family, and that's how we like to keep it. So.
Yeah, and the kids understand that. They buy into that. It's not about one player making a play. It's about 11 players out there on the field doing it together, and so. We don't have to look to one player to make a play. So we know that they're going to work together, and when we substitute, it's the same philosophy. They're going to come in and they're just going to pick it up where we left off, and they're going to do their part. And so, I mean, we both kind of hesitate to pick out a particular player and say, this player is going to make a huge difference, because I expect all 11 of them on the field to have that same feeling that they're doing exactly what they need to do to make us successful.
You bet. Now, what has been kind of your focus here in late summer as you've gone through some extensive practices and so forth through the month of August, some camps and so forth? What were you looking to see accomplished in your team overall with all the starter practices and so forth we've had?
Well, one of the advantages is, like Coach said, we have kids coming back, and they know our system already, and they know what we expect. So our focus this year has been taking care of the details that are going to make us that better team, take us to the next level. Because if you don't iron out the kinks when they're small, they're going to hurt you. And we've told the kids, if it's not about running a route, it's about running a route perfect and being ready to catch the ball when it's there. It's not about making a block. It's about making the block exactly right. So you're there to turn your shoulders exactly when the ball gets there. And it's not a running back. It's not about just running into a hole. It's about making that perfect cut so that when the linemen open that hole up, you're ready to just jet through it. And that's been our focus here for the last couple of weeks, is like, let's just take care of those little things that are going to like take us over the top.
And unity's big on our team. We want to focus all 11 players to play as one unit together all the time, and no matter who comes into the ball game, if it's a substitute, a backup tackle, a backup running back, whoever it may be, those 11 players still need to play as one unit together and to make the play work the way it should work. So,
do you have some techniques that you use to help build that team spirit in terms of your drills and practices and so forth? Are there some kind of unique activities that you
Well,
put the guys
I can give you
through?
one example. One example that we do is we run what we call a fast offense, and we don't even use a defense. It's all about the offense. And what we do is we put our first offense on the field, and we run a play every 8 seconds. We run a play. And we're going down the field, running a play every 8 seconds, and then I start subbing from the sideline. And you may not even know what position you're going into until you hear your name. And it's all about getting out there, and we don't want any hiccups. We don't want anything to stop. And that's our emphasis, is that flow. And so it doesn't matter if you're a second string or a third string. When your name is called, the flow continues. The play just keeps right on running. In 8 seconds, there's going to be another one.
Sure.
And I think the kids really like that, because they know that they're contributing when they go out on the field, and they know they have to execute in order for the machine to work.
Yeah, and other levels of competition, we call that the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
When it's right down to the nitty-gritty, can you still march that team down the
That's
field?
right.
and we
That's right.
try to run the 2-minute drill for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Basically.
If we could do that in a game, we love it. So.
Sure. Now, a week ago, you had a scrimmage against the Panthers from Embler. They came down and we divided up the field and did a lot of work. What were you hoping to see, and how did it work out for the overall team with that scrimmage?
Well, I think a couple things we wanted to do is we wanted to put our first offense and first defense on the field as a unit and let them function as a unit. And I think we were successful with that. We saw some really good things. The second thing we used that for is we had kids who were changing positions or were 2 or 3 deep, and so we wanted to see them execute in the spot that we're looking at them for to see how they stack up against everybody else. Because we're telling the kids, you compete, you earn that spot, so we're trying to give them some reps and let them show us what they can do.
Yeah, and what we see in practice when they're going against their classmate or their friend is different than what we see at game speed.
Oh, sure.
It's
they're
all a
going
little
against
different.
somebody
It's always
else.
different, yeah.
So it gives us a chance to look at some of those players who are new to the program and maybe switching positions, like Harold said. It gives us a chance to see them at game speed and how they work with the flow of the team.
And we've never emphasized scoring or trying to
Sure.
beat
Of
the
course
other
not.
teams.
Yeah.
It's all about us and what are we going to get out of this? What do we see out there that's going to help us be better?
And so by what you saw a week ago in the scrimmage, give you some ideas on how you're going to coach some of your players, especially some of those that are in the deep positions that you got a lot of coverage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've tried some players in positions and it just doesn't work for them.
Sure.
You put them out there. You say, give us your best shot. This is what we want you to try to do, and they try it, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work for them. And so then I feel very comfortable going to that player and saying, this didn't work for you. Let's try this, or let's do something different, and you move on. And so for that reason itself, it's really valuable to get them on the field.
Excellent. Coach Travis, tell us a little bit about special teams. How do we stack up, and what do you expect to see out of the special teams this year?
We have 2 young gentlemen who are both very good kickers that we can rely on, both to kick off or to kick extra points and field goals. We've got a really good punter. I think our coverage on both kickoff and kickoff returns is great. Once again, we stress the whole team unit thing, and our special teams is no different than our offense or our defense. They go out, those 11 players work together, and they play just like a unit on the same thing. It's just another offensive or defensive play as far as we're concerned. And as long as they're doing it right, that's what we want, just team unity.
Okay, Give me the scouting report on Pendleton coming up. What kinds of things are we going to have to keep in our minds when we face those guys from up north Friday night?
Well, one of the things that they have to their advantage is they have a lot of kids out. And they have more depth than we do by far.
Sure.
And in the past, they've used that to their advantage. They wear us down a little bit. And so that's one of the things we kind of have to have in the back of our mind. We're scheming a rotation system where we can get some breaks for the kids that are on the field. So that's kind of one of the things you have in mind as you approach this game. They're a very physical team. They're going to be a little bit different because their quarterback, who did everything for them last year, graduated. He's playing for Eastern Oregon right now.
So they're rebuilding a bit
well,
too.
More like reloading, but yes, they're going to have a different look. And
Sure.
We don't really know what to expect too much from them, but we know they're going to be super tough. And we know they come down here with a lot of confidence, and we're going to be in a battle.
Sounds like a good place for a quality lineman to step in.
Yeah.
That's probably where the battlefield will be.
It's going to be
decided.
tough. It's going to be tough.
Now, what kind of offense do you expect to see from them? Do they air it out, or do they mostly grind it out on the ground?
We see a little of both from them. Last year, and of course it was last year with a different quarterback. Last year they used a lot of shorter passes and a lot of runs up the middle, and we're expecting a lot of the same this year, but it could be different. They could try to go deep on us, but they're just a good quality offense, and their coach has been there for a few years, and he believes in what they do, and they get it done on the field.
So your linebackers are going to be kind of key to that, if I'm reading you right. Short
our
passes
linebackers
and
are always key in our
of
defense.
course, yeah.
I think it's going to be a great battle up front. I think it's going to start there, but I think with stressing our team philosophy, we got to get people to flow to the ball defensively, and we got to get people to do things right on offense and make just great plays, and that's what it's going to take to beat them. Excellent.
And now, Coach Travis, one final comment. Tell me a little bit about the crowd support that you feel when the Tigers take the field, especially here at home.
So this is Harold and my second year together as coaches, and last year our crowd support was very good.
Yeah, it was.
And they were there to support us every home game. They were there on the road with us all the time. It's great to walk onto Community Stadium Field and hear the crowd behind it. The players, the boys, they really appreciate the crowd support we get, and they let people know that they're there. It's a pretty loud crowd.
Coach Travis, thanks for joining us today. Coach Shannon, appreciate it.
Oh.
All the best Friday night.
All right, thank you.
Hope things work out well. We'll be looking forward to seeing the team. Thank you for joining us on LeGrand Alive TV. We've been talking sports with our coaches from LeGrand High School Tigers football team. Join us again next time.